It is big, it is breaking. It's news concerning Manchester United as the boss, Erik ten Hag, has extended his stay at the beloved club by another 1 year, meaning his contract will be done in 2026 and an official statement has been issued by the club. It is something we've been talking about and monitoring here for a long time. We told you both parties came to an agreement, and guess what? Now the work is supposed to be done. My name is Webb. Like, share, subscribe. This is the Netted Hotspot. This is a quick, different update concerning the boss, the most important guy. It was all upon the arrival of Dan Ashworth, and that is why, even speaking after the confirmation of Erik ten Hag's contract extension, it's Dan Ashworth who gave the interview. Listen to the statement that has been issued. Erik ten Hag has extended his contract as Man United men's first team manager until June 2026. Erik ten Hag said, I am very pleased to have reached an agreement with the club to continue working together. Looking back at the past 2 years, we can reflect with pride on how two trophies and many examples of progression from where we were when I joined. He goes on to say, however, we want to make it clear that there is still lots of hard work ahead to reach the levels expected of Manchester United, which means challenging for the English Premier League and European titles. In my discussions with the club, we have found complete unity in our vision for reaching those goals, and we are strongly committed to making the journey together. This is Erik ten Hag saying. Then Dan Ashworth, the new sporting director, dropped his first official statement for the first time as well, adding his voice to that of Erik ten Hag, saying that with 2 trophies in the past 2 seasons, Erik ten Hag has reinforced his record as one of the most consistently successful coaches in European football. And it goes on to say, while the club's review of last season highlighted areas of improvement, it is also reached a clear conclusion that Erik ten Hag was the best partner for us to work with during to work within driving up to work with, I beg your pardon, in driving up standards and outcomes. He goes on to say that this group of players and staff have already shown they are capable of competing and winning at the topmost level, and now we need to do it more consistently. With our strengthened football leadership team now in place, we are looking forward to working hand in hand with Erik and achieve our shared ambitions for this football club. Well, United for you. A new kit is out. We are progressing in signing players, Mathis Delete and Joshua Zakzi. Things are shifting and moving right for Manchester United. Guys, I read this statement, and first of all, it confirmed to me what we suspected, that indeed Dan Ashworth has been involved in the stuff that has been going on at Man United, even before his official confirmation as the man in charge of football matters. I think it's clear that he has been involved in this stuff. That is one. Two, Erik ten Hag being given 1 year is a sign that maybe Ineos are still trying to test him, and they feel 1 year, that's a total of 2 years now, because he had 1 year left on his contract before signing this extension. It shows that they have given him 2 years to try and see whether he can stable the ship, because he has shown signs and elements of a manager who is progressive, who can fight, has character to be able to fight even during the hardest of storms, to be able to try and keep the ship a bit firm that can even compete for titles. So I think the reality is we all know that Man United had no right at all to be competing for titles, given the disorganization that was revealed around the club before. So I think for me, this is Ineos giving him 1 year is to show that let's give you this tweet. They are going to look at just assess him and see whether he's he will be able to make the next leap into the next step where we think we want to go. So it's I think the logical thing to do. Honestly, it was always the logical thing. That's what we are all advocating for. That we give him a little bit of time and a new, better, improved structure and see what he can do. And what they're doing, if you look at the players Man United is being linked with in this summer, these are players, Erik ten Hag players. So it's I think as if they have decided to trust him, give him his players, and see what he does with them. Remember, he has even said it has even been said that he's going to have a lot of powers when it comes to transfers. That is part of the things that I think kept them going back and forth in terms of the new contract. He wanted to be given that trust, and you don't share a manager trust if he's not going to have a veto when it comes to transfers. So even if this structure is there, it is to support him, but not to take away from him what should be his powers. So I think for me, It's a good thing. It's progressive. I think it's a sign of stability. There is stability in the club at least for the next 2 years. That after 2 years, if it doesn't work, then they can look to their Thomas Tuchel's of this world that Ineos were trying to go for, and every other manager they have been linked with. But the smart thing has always been Ten Hag first, give him time, trust him, and let's see what he does. So that's exactly what they have done. So the manager talk is done and dusted. Now it is time. Ineos have been doing things systematically. They are not just doing things haphazard. They have tried to be systematic, I feel, in how they do stuff. And I think it has been very important. So what they have done with the team, the structure around the club, the assistants, the manager now is sorted. Now it is the players next. So what next now is confirmation of whether Sofian Amrabat is staying or not, confirmation of the new signings, because I believe before the end of next week we should be having in new players. Mathis Delete, top of the list. We are progressing in talks for Joshua Zirkzee. The bid will be put in. Manuel Ugarte, but also the departures. Well, a left back as well, but also the departures, because Man United has got to lose a couple of players, and this is part of the things that Ineos have tasked Dan Ashworth to do first. Clean the squad so that we create space for others to come in. So it's going to be a busy coming days for Man United, as it's been already. We have a new kit already out and stuff. So a lot of work is going on around Man United. But the boss, this man, is already, of course, I think firm in his job, which I think is very progressive. So now let's focus on the football. The reality is, uh, I know that there is sections of Man United supporters who were never convinced by Erik Ten Hag and were never happy about him staying in the first place. I honestly think, really, now is the time we put all our opinions about Erik Ten Hag behind us and back him fully, back the Ineos project, because at least we see they seem to have a plan in place. We've got now to trust the process, back it. That's our job as supporters, is to back. We can question when something is not right. We can question, or it's within our rights. But I think for me now, the naysayers need to stop. They can't be coming from within the club. Erik Ten Hag needs the full backing and support of the Man United community. Wherever you are, in whichever corner of the world you're in, you can back the manager and your voice will be heard. Now, when it comes to the players, which is the critical part where we are now, I'm seeing talks that Mason Greenwood should be sold by next week together with Jadon Sancho. I'm thinking Sancho can go, but can we now focus on Mason Greenwood? Because of all players we have, Greenwood and Kobe are our most important. We fought the battle for Erik Ten Hag to keep his job. It's been done, cemented now. He has signed the contract. He's speaking, happily, trusted. Can we now try to add our voice on Mason Greenwood back, and so that we keep the chant going? Greenwood back, Greenwood back. You never know. We could force Ineos to do something. I low-key still have hope that they can indeed bring Mason Greenwood back, because Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Mr. Ineos himself, has been clear. He's open to the idea of Greenwood returning if we don't get a good suitor. Yet, Lazio's president has ordered his staff to get the Greenwood deal done by the 8th of July. They first offered a bid of 20 million euros. They want to add a further 10. Absolute nonsense. Guys, Greenwood back. Greenwood back. My name is Webb. Erik Ten Hag, Greenwood. Listen, Ten Hag, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Kobe Maino, Greenwood, and Højlund. That's a match made in heaven, guys. Captained by Bruno Fernandes. That's a treble winning team. Make it happen, fam.